My next question is from Susie. Pastor Steve, I think she's a nurse in here somewhere, but it says, Pastor Steve, how do I find a balance between, oh no, I touched my face, now we're all gonna die?
I just touched my face.
And I was thinking about that when I was...
It's because I got a beard. I'm doing the scraggly thing.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. It's
getting scruffy here on our quarantine.
Did you touch your face before you had a beard?
I've been touching my face this whole... Oh, before I had a beard? Not as much as I do now.
Right, yeah.
Not as much as I do now.
It's the beard, man.
Yeah.
You got to cut them off.
That's not going to happen. So she says, how do I find the balance between that and, hey, if I get it, I get it. Yeah, this is where she says, I'm a healthcare worker, and I know I need to be responsible, but still need to trust Jesus, and I know people are watching my response.
Right.
So what do you tell Susie? What do you tell all Christians? And I paraphrased your question, Susie, because I couldn't fit all that.
Susie, you're in a special situation. She's a nurse?
Healthcare worker, so I don't know.
Okay, so if you're in a hospital, you know about the whole thing with concentrations of viruses in a hospital. In fact, this is one of the reasons that healthcare workers are getting coronavirus in such a way that some of them have died, because their systems are being overwhelmed with the virus. And so you need to be extra careful, obviously, and that's why you're using all the PPEs and doing all the things that you do in the hospital. So I would definitely be careful if I were you. I've got a son in the medical profession, and so I want him to be careful too, because you're in a closed space, lots of virus, that kind of thing, and that can overwhelm your system. But having said that, I'm not in that situation, and I fully expect to get this disease at some point. Again, when I'm looking at this, the original reason for the lockdown was to basically blunt the curve in the spread of the virus, which has already been done, and now they're talking about just wiping the virus out. And I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think scientifically, there is nothing that I've seen that scientifically you can say that you're going to wipe this out.
It's so funny because all our graphs, Inslee said this today. A bunch of other people are saying stuff, but in Washington State, we believe and rely on science. Yeah. And then he starts putting up these graphs that are totally hypothetical. In his own statements, he goes, and this is a possible outcome.
Right. Yeah. And so, this is, again, it's like a flu virus, it's like a cold virus. As far as we can tell at this point, this is what it's going to be like. And so, yeah, at some point, I'm going to get it. And so, if we can do the whole thing with the antibodies, and you probably know about this, that would be a great thing. And if we can get something that's like a flu shot, but that the flu shot doesn't even work depending on the strain of flu that's going around.
Sure. And
so that's a situation. It's a coronavirus, and so we can't even cure a cold, much less the flu or COVID-19. I really seriously don't believe that we're ever going to have a cure for this. I don't think that there's going to be a vaccine that's going to take care of it. And so ultimately that is the case. I fully expect at some point in my life to get this specific disease. And I'm being careful right now, and I haven't even gotten close to getting it. I'm really thankful for that. But ultimately, my life is in Jesus' hands anyway. And so at some point, everything's going to relax, and somebody's going to be going around coughing and sneezing and rubbing it on their hands. And at some point, I'm going to shake hands with somebody, or they're going to touch I'm going to touch something right after they did. And there's going to be a point where this comes around to me. I've got a grandkid now. He's going to be all snotty and coming up and playing on my lap. And that's the way that life goes. And so I'm kind of in that position. I fully trust Jesus. But actually, Susie, one of the things that really hit me when I started considering this whole thing with COVID is how many people die of the flu. And I realized that even without COVID, that at the end of my life, when I'm all weak, and everything is about to shut down, I am probably going to die of the flu. That's what I'm going to die of.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, unless I just have a heart attack, that might be a better way to go. In any case, I think that we just need to be reasonable about being healthy and watching out for things. And I pray for my diseases anyway. Whenever I catch something, I pray that Jesus would heal me, and I fully trust that he can. I've seen Jesus heal all kinds of stuff. Verified healed cancer, that kind of stuff. And just really cool things. Jesus does really cool things. But, you know, I'm pretty practical with this stuff. I'm a pastor. I shake a lot of people's hands. Not lately, but shake a lot of people's hands, and I get a lot of people's diseases because of it. And so I'm constantly washing hands and that kind of thing. Washing the fellowship off is what I call it. And so I think that specifically, Susie, in your profession, that you need to be very careful because your system can get overloaded by the virus. So I think that you need to be very careful. But at the same time, God's got your life in his hands. Your story, your life is a story that's been told, a book that's been written. God knows the beginning, God knows the end. And, as Job said, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away. If it ever comes to a point where he takes your life, blessed be the name of the Lord. That's just a promotion. And so you go home to be with Jesus. So, but yeah, I'm going to pray for you that you're careful because I don't want to see you get sick like that. But yeah, ultimately we're in a situation where there's not a huge amount that we can do. We can be practical and we can be careful about things, but I can't see a virus. And if I could, life would be better. Did you see that? What was it called? Where the guys did all the, I'm blanking out. Where they did all the internet, Mythbusters. I love Mythbusters. And they did this whole thing on passing around a cold virus.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And so,
I didn't see it, no.
Yeah, basically what they did was they used some kind of fluid that would show up under a black light. And so they pretended like they had a runny nose and stuff like that. And they did this whole thing where they was just getting together with people and playing a game and that kind of stuff. And then afterwards showing where all this stuff had gone.
Oh, man.
And how it had touched everybody in the room. And everything had this stuff on it. Right. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
Crazy.
And so when I saw that, I was like, yeah. If not this year, maybe, probably next year. So.
All right, thanks, Susie, and thanks for being on the front lines, too.
Yeah,
all you
God bless
healthcare
you.
workers and all the stuff you guys are doing. We super appreciate it.